honestly, this particular.
Hello and welcome to the Industry Podcast, Episode 3. My name is Corey. This is my friend Blake, and this podcast is about the interviews, insights, and inside stories from the industry. Later on, you'll see our third co-host, Julian, with some great stories, and Blake here with interviews, and myself talking about different products and gear that make videos amazing. So how you doing, Blake?
I am doing fantastic, thank you.
Awesome. So what do you want to talk about this week?
I want to talk about the group that I'm about to develop.
And tell me about it.
And I had posted about it on Facebook too. But the group is called Ultimate Masterpiece Productions.
I love that. I've heard of this a little bit. Ultimate Masterpiece Productions.
Mm-hmm. And I want to make it to where we all get together sometimes, and we don't like all have to get together at once.
Yeah.
But just get enough people and get enough gear and everything, and to go out and shoot our own stuff, then come back and edit, and then if we want to, we can do our own showcases too. To get audiences out there.
Sure. So what's like the goal of Ultimate Amazing Awesome Masterpiece? Wait, what was it?
Ultimate Masterpiece Productions.
Okay. I like the short for short. That's the short version. Yeah. Okay.
My goal is to kind of I know it's gonna take a lot of finding and everything, but I kind of own a facility. Like I actually want to put a sign that says Blake Crafts Ultimate Masterpiece Productions, and almost like I'm the manager of that studio, and I hire all the people to work on my team, and I kind of put together a team, and we all do our own film stuff, and since I'm the manager, I would be in charge of what films we do and where we go out and film and stuff like that. I'm trying to work my way up into the whole directing thing. I know directing's very hard to do, but I'm willing to accomplish it.
So you want to be a director. You want to be a director of this group, and you want to turn it into a company, sounds like, right?
I do, yeah.
Interesting.
I know it's going to take a lot of work, but and I'm only mostly a PA and grip and stuff right now, but I'll get there. Things just take time. Exactly.
I like where your mind is at. That's really where you got to be just to work towards a goal like that.
Uh-huh.
So what type of things are you doing now to get that group started?
Well, first of all, I want to get into I want to create a Facebook page that says Blake's Ultimate Masterpiece Productions, because on your regular page, you can only have 5,000 friends on there, but on a professional page, you can have more than that. So
right.
I'm trying to get as many people in there as I can. The first people I would add to the group would be you guys, the ones that are on the group chat on Facebook, because you're basically are all my crew and extras and stuff right now, because not everybody in the group is going to be crew members. I want some people in the group to be cast members, to act,
Of course.
To have a good variety in there.
So you need to recruit all types of people, and not just people already kind of in their craft. You want to recruit new people who are interested in film, right?
Exactly. And as far as I'm concerned, the more people I can add to that professional Facebook page, the bigger audiences we can get, for our showcases.
Interesting. So you want it all, sounds like.
Exactly.
You want to create your own little world of Blake's, actually huge world of Blake's Ultimate Masterpiece Productions.
Yeah, you got that right.
So with the Facebook group, where does it go from there? Where does it go? Does it ever go to its own website? Do you have a physical location? What's the next step after you have a group? And what's like the limit of group members you want in your group?
On the professional page?
Yeah.
Oh, if I can, I would go up to like, I don't know, probably I mean, this would include audience members for the showcases and stuff too, but I would hope to get hundreds or even thousands
from all over the world, things like that, or do you just want to focus on Texas?
Probably just the Texas and probably the border states like Arkansas, Louisiana, New Mexico and stuff. You know, just to make it easy.
That's exciting. That's really exciting.
I know, and see, and I also want to make a blog too. I want to make a blog that says Blake's Ultimate Masterpiece Productions and give people the link to it.
Okay.
You know, because there and the professional Facebook page is where all our videos and stuff would go.
Right. I think you've told me about this idea a little bit and online and stuff. So I think you were talking about needing a logo. That's where it starts, right? You need a good logo before the page is ever made. You need a logo to get everybody behind, right?
Yes. So
it's got to be an amazing logo.
Yeah, I got to make it as perfect as I possibly can.
Yeah. Are you going to go into other merch type stuff? Or are you going to go into like Blake's Ultimate Masterpiece T-shirts and maybe do a tour or something?
Yes.
Because you're going to recruit a lot of people, so you really need to get that reach out there really quickly.
Do you know a place where they can do T-shirts?
I know of a couple. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. If you can tell me, that would be great.
Yeah, I could probably find some that would get you a good deal.
Yeah, because I wanna like start. You know, I want to get to the place where I can have a theme where, you know, like Universal Studios or Walt Disney Studios or something like that. And if I can get up to that high in my career for Blake's Ultimate Masterpiece Productions, I would be a legend, you know, and that's just where I want to be.
So is that your personal goal is to become a legend?
A filmmaking and acting legend.
Like you want people in Austin after you've moved on to like Hollywood or become like your own planet or something. You want people back here to say that, man, Blake was a legend.
Yes.
And we remember when he was here and he made this amazing company that got 100 million followers in one day. Uh-huh. And then that's the best case scenario, right?
Mm-hmm. That's exactly right.
Okay. I like, you know what? I was just thinking that Blake's Ultimate Masterpiece, the acronym of that, is that something you would put on a T-shirt? I don't know about that. I think I would wear it, and I think it would be really fun to like explain what it means.
Yep. I wouldn't just put the name of the company on the shirt. I would put the link to it too, you know, in case they didn't have internet.
Okay. Yeah, so you'd help people out with that. Mm-hmm. You know, QR codes are really good for that.
Okay.
'Cause everybody's got a smartphone now that can link to different stuff like that, and you can have a smartphone just scan a little barcode.
Yeah.
And it'll link to your website.
Yeah. What would people be without smartphones?
I think people would be a little bit happier, a little bit more social. But besides that, I mean, having like, you mean like smartphones specifically or the internet? Because smartphones without the internet would be just really expensive calculators.
I would say internet, yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
So I definitely think the internet is definitely the best thing that's ever been developed.
You think so?
And I think they started the internet back in the 90s, back in 95.
Actually, it was experimented with, and the first text message was sent via internet, I think in like 1980, probably even earlier.
Wow, like over 40 years ago.
Yeah, you know where the first message was sent from one server to another? You know, like what location? Minnesota.
And that's where you're from.
University of Minnesota, yeah.
Woohoo!
It was like some podcast show I listened to that was talking about that. They called it GopherNet.
I like that.
It started in universities, but it's a lot different, a lot less recognizable now. That's for sure. Yeah. So like, what kind of things would you, where would you start with getting a crew together? Like your first movie, your first feature, what would you choose? Like, what brands would you choose to like put your movie together?
Well, there is a TV series that I've always wanted to do.
Is that right?
Yes.
What's that?
Well, you see, when I go to bed at night, I always remember my dreams at night. Well, not always, but I almost all the time remember them.
Okay.
And I'll always put like what I dreamed and the day of the night that I dreamed it. Like April 12th, 2019, I dreamed this. And so I was
dream journal.
And so I was hoping to put together a TV series called Blake's Dream Adventures. And I would put it, and I would try to describe my dreams by putting all those graphics and special effects into the background, of the shots.
That sounds like a lot of fun to make.
Yes.
Like, dreams, by definition, are going to require probably a lot of visual effects. Mm-hmm. Either that or a classroom.
and
everybody's got a classroom dream.
Yes, and as far as a feature, because the Blake's Dream Adventures would only be a TV series, but thinking about creating a film called where I would be the main character again, but I would travel the world in search for a relationship, and I would title it Blake's Search for Girlfriend, or something like Blake's Girlfriend's Search.
Or you could stay on brand with your company name and call it like Blake's Ultimate Relationship.
Oh yeah.
Because like ultimate means like ending. So like your ultimate relationship would be the last one you need, which would be a girlfriend that you would have. It'd be the last girlfriend that you have.
I like that.
Yeah. See, we got ideas. We got all the ideas. Well, I want to talk a little bit about what we talked about last week, which is about our camera experience. And you had said that you shot with the Sony FS7. Mm-hmm. And I talked a little bit about the Canon camera product line. But as you know, a couple days ago, I was on a CBS production. And I can't say what it was, but they were shooting with ARRI cameras.
Oh.
And I was an extra, so I essentially just got, because my other experience has been, crew work and 12-hour days, basically moving a house every day, doing grip work. So like an extra on a professional set like that was really, really cushy. Uh-huh. And we just got snacks and like they dressed me in clothes, and it was a good time. Got to hang out and talk about movies. Mm-hmm. But being the nerd I am, I was fascinated with how the whole production itself was running and how the things they chose, the brands they chose, and I kind of annoyed one of the set PAs that were responsible for just handling all the extras, and kind of bugged him about it. Showed him a couple of pictures of me behind the scenes of like other productions I did, just to know that I knew a little bit about production. And I don't know. It was just my like sneaky attempt to like prove. I basically just walked up and I'm like, hey, look at this, and there's a picture of me like next to a grip truck. I'm like, hey, like I know what's going on out there. Like, what kind of cameras are you guys shooting on? And can I look at them? And he saw that and he's like, oh, I'll let you like get a look like later on. And so I was like thinking about that all day. And then later on when I talked to him and I asked him about the cameras again, he said that they're ARRI cameras and that ARRI has taken over all aspects of TV production, mm-hmm. essentially. So I thought that was really intriguing because typically it's been different types. It's been your Fresnels, your Manfrottos, all kinds of different lighting brands that are specific choices in the grip truck, and sound equipment. Obviously, I don't think there's any ARRI sound equipment. I guess that would be a question to research. But camera and lighting specifically has been completely overhauled with RE equipment on that sort of production. And I thought that was really interesting. And I started looking into it, and RE is a company that's been around since like 1934. And that reminded me of a lens brand called Zeiss that's been around since around that time. And Zeiss got really popular and really rich quickly because they made sniper scopes for the world wars. And then they moved into TV camera lenses.
Oh, wow.
So they've been around since, I think, World War I. And it's just interesting that these two brands, Ari and Zeiss, they're coming back around in the 2020s, and they were huge in the 1920s. At least Zeiss was. So that's my bit about Ari.
Oh, that's cool.
And also, my friend of mine, he got a Sony A7S III. It was a goal of his that he'd been working at for a couple of months. Mm-hmm. And it was just something that was on his mind constantly. And he had, I think he owns a couple S2s, and he upgraded to the S3.
Oh, wow.
And the thing he was most excited about was a computer-generated algorithm that can stabilize the image in camera automatically. And he showed me this video of this guy holding, and it's a mirrorless camera, holding it and jogging with it while it's pointed at him. And there's no shakiness whatsoever, and there's no gyro. Mm-hmm. So it was like an internal, not hardware-based, but a software-based gyro inside, which is really fascinating.
Nice.
So all kinds of nerdy stuff happening with cameras for me last week. So I'm excited for more.
Yeah, I bet you are.
Do you have anything else to add?
In general for tonight?
Yeah.
Yes, I would.
Yeah. Tell a story.
I've got a meetup group in the Meetup app, and if you would like to join me on some outings, be sure to look for Texas Filmmaking Outing Adventures Group on Meetup, and let's go on some adventures, shall we?
That's meetup.com, Texas Filmmaking Outings.
Uh-huh.
Awesome. And that's our segment of the Industry Podcast. Coming up is Julian with some inside stories from the industry. That's it. All right. That's a cut.
Great job.
So this is the third segment of the Industry Podcast. I am Julian Guevara, and beside me is Roberto Martinez in my American-Mexican voice.
American-Mexican voice, nice.
I know you like to have the accent on it.
Roberto, that's the way you pronounce it.
See, there you go. That's how you say it, right?
Roberto.
So we're here kind of just talking about working together in the AV business. Like, we were working together what year did we start working together? Like 2019?
No, dude,
Or 2018?
It was like 2015.
Whoa.
Yeah, dude, it was a good bit ago, maybe 2016.
No, maybe it was 2016 or something like that. Dude, wow, that's really
2019, dude. That was like 2 years ago.
We started working together at the AT&T Conference Center over here on UT campus in downtown Austin, and so I just want to get like a little initial question from you, like when you first started working at the AT&T Center, and you came on onto the team. You came on a little bit before I did. Like a couple more than a few months, I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah, I was there for about a year before you showed up.
Yeah. So like you kind of like got a good vibe going like with everybody, and then like I feel like when I came in the group of people that kind of came in after me, things like really took like some turns. So I just want to see how did you feel about it when you kind of first started?
Wait, how did I feel when I first started?
Yeah.
Well, dude, I had no idea what it was. Like, I have a friend, whenever I recommended him to the company, he sat down and did the research of who started it and what its basic, what the goal was.
Does. Yeah.
And so he was able to come in and quickly just, get up to date with what was happening. But me, I just kind of jumped in and I was like, I have no idea what this is, but it sounds like fun. I'll try it out.
Like, easy enough.
Yeah. And so, little by little, I started realizing how the production process went.
Yeah.
But these people that were coming in after me, like I'm starting to realize the trend with more people starting to familiarize themselves with the industry. Because I mean, I guess it's obscure enough to where it's like slowly coming in.
Yeah, like people just nowadays are kind of like realizing that there's like audio technicians. Like,
yeah,
I kind of think of like how, like, you know, we work with some older dudes who like been doing this shit since like the 70s. So it's like, I wonder what they thought about their job, like what people thought about their job back then. Because it's like they probably thought that like they were nobody.
Yeah, dude, literally, it's like plays in the whole concept of how AV people always wear black. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Two of the 4 people here are wearing black because of that. And it's just, the idea is so you're not seen. You're completely obscure.
You're in the background.
But back in the 70s, dude, people definitely didn't know that there was people in this industry. Like, they just didn't even turn an eye. So they probably felt very invisible, which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, they were probably much more needed too, because obviously there was like less of them, but then also like the technology was like a lot more expensive and new, and it was also way shittier. So
they had needed some experienced people to handle it. Yeah.
Like, I think I've talked before about how I've like heard stories about like older dudes talking about projectors catching fire because they used to use like film reels or film plates to like shine the projector, and like the lamps would get really hot and burn the film.
Oh,
and so they would like have a slide that would just like incinerate on camera on the projector, and everybody would be like, what the fuck's happening? And you look up at the ceiling and like there's a ton of smoke coming from the projector.
Dude, that would be frightening in this day and age, at least, because we're not prepared for that. There's no contingencies for combustible gear.
Electronics, dude. If that happened in a ballroom, like with a 10K, dude, like, I mean, especially with a lot of the people that we've worked with, they would not know what to do. They'd just be like, "Where's the fire extinguisher?"
Dude, that would be me too, man. I'd be in panic mode.
So like, I was like, how many people were on the team like at AT&T when you were there? Because like there was some people that like were there when I first started, and then they like left like kind of 6 months into when I started, but I could tell that they had been there for a bit. I just like, you know, like Aaron or like who's another guy, like I know there's other people, there's a couple other guys that like were there. Tyler. Wait, you were there when Tyler was there, right? Yeah, that's right. Dude. No,
I literally have a video of you guys playing like rock, paper, scissors for like the last like bag of chips that somebody had left behind or something like that.
Dude, he was funny, man. He was like, I remember one day he's just like, dude, don't give a fuck about this job. Or so I could tell he was just like not having a great day.
Yeah.
But he was just like, he's like, this job is so simple and people make it so complicated. And like, I hate it. And I was just like, damn, he's dropping the knowledge right here.
Yeah, he always had like some sort of monologue that you just had to sit in for, you know? And it was sometimes happy, sometimes it was like fully comedic, and then sometimes it was him ranting about something. And those rants were like the best out of all, the monologues he could go into.
I know. He like texted me I posted a picture of like Zlotnick, the ballroom that they have at the bottom, like in the business center building right next to it, at the AT&T Center. We like would work in that ballroom when it first opened, and like I sent him, like I posted a photo on Instagram, and he like replied to it, and he was like, "Is this the new ballroom?" I was like, "Yeah." And I tried to direct message him and be like, "Hey, how's it going, man?" And he was just like not having that conversation.
That's pretty.
If you're out there, Tyler, man, hi.
Hit him up, bro. He's trying to see what's going on.
Yeah, dude, I was out in LA for like the entire time. You were out in LA, apparently.
What? He was in LA? Is he still there?
Well, he like moved to LA. That's why he like left AT&T, because he moved to LA.
That's right. I totally forgot about that. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, you know, and that's kind of what I did too. I had to move on to bigger and better things, which is just the same job in LA.
It's just the same job anywhere.
Slightly higher position. And I gotta tell people to set things up and set things up too, you know, instead of just setting everything up.
Nice.
I was like, is that what you were doing before? Like they hired my group of people on the board. I was like, I think only 2 people out of my crew of people like actually like were retained for a while, like Will Hottie or something.
Oh yeah, all those people lasted a pretty good while. I mean, I'm pretty sure some of them would have
Yeah.
still been there if it weren't for COVID.
Yeah, no, dude, for sure. Like, I mean,
Because it was a sweet gig, dude. I liked working at PSAP.
yeah, I really did like the AT&T Center because, like, I mean, even though you got sent around to different properties and stuff, like, you know, that was just kind of like occasionally. And if you were at AT&T Center, you'd be there for like at least 4 days of the week. And those 4 days were usually pretty chill if they were weekdays.
Well, it's because those CMPs, dude. We had the built-in gear.
Yeah.
Of all the properties, we probably had the most built-in gear, which was nice.
Yeah, but like, and like, you know, especially when we started, like, it was kind of funny how, like, yeah, they really quickly got those, like, all the HDMI built-ins and like XLR built-ins, like, right after, like, we had been doing like a year and a half of like VGA to fucking projectors. And like no like a HD, like, you know, stuff except for the audio. You know, you use just like a DI box and then like plug that into the mixer, but like the projector would be like 480p. This is terrible.
480p, dude.
Yeah. I was like, so Tim and Chris were the bosses there when we first started, right? When I first started, was there anybody who was the team? Who was like the team, and like how did you feel like you were fitting in when you first were I guess like 6 months in?
Well, whenever I first started, I got interviewed by the AD there, and his name was Jeff. And
What word?
Yeah, and he was the Kabbalah basically.
Okay.
Yeah. And actually, Kabbalah was one of the night leads.
Okay.
So I got to see the whole Kabbalah era. I think you got there when Kabbalah was already AD.
Yeah.
That was totally.
Well, I think
era.
I think it was actually like, because when I did the interview, I was up in the ball. Like, me and Tim walked up to the ballroom, and he was talking to me about how Chris was like about to be like the assistant director. So like I think he was like just about to turn into the assistant director. Like, I think he was still doing like, you know, the, you know, normal setup stuff like he normally did.
Okay.
Which is kind of weird. Now I'm like, wow, I really did start in like 2016.
Yeah, dude, it was a good minute ago.
And it was funny, when I first started the job, I was like working at the mall at the same time. So like certain days of the week I would work at the mall.
Yeah, dude, working at that luggage company.
Yeah, I would sell suitcases for Toomey and Ramova and all these like luxury brands. And yeah, it was always funny. But like then like I remember I had to like quit that job just because like I don't know if I went from part-time to full-time is what it was. But like, yeah, Tim and Chris were just like, yo, can you pick up these hours? And I was like, yeah, I'd much rather be working over here than working at a suitcase. Because they're like, yeah, but you could sell a lot of suitcases. I'm like, dude, nobody's buying suitcases. Like,
Was it pretty dry there usually?
like unless it was like literally like spring or summer. Spring and summer, I would sell like, people would come in, like rich people would come in and they would buy like an entire line of like, you know, all metal suitcases from this brand called like Ramova. And each, like the biggest one would be like $2,500. And the second biggest one would be like $2,250. And then it would kind of like keep going down to like the smallest carry-on bag for still all metal was like, I think it was $1,250 for a silver one. And then they had different types of metal ones. So like sometimes these guys would come and be like, I want all of the titanium blacks. And you'd be like, fuck, okay. Like, you know, let me go ring that up. And it'd be like 10 G's. Like,
really, dude?
And he'd be like, yeah, I'm getting these for my daughter. And I'm like, what the hell? Like,
that much on luggage, dude.
Dude, people do it, man. And then I'd make like a couple $100 off of selling those bags.
That's not bad. But how often would that happen?
Depending on the brand. So like for Ramova, it wouldn't happen that often. Like that would happen like a couple times during like the year because like they're a popular brand and they're an expensive brand, but they're the most expensive brand.
Ramova.
Yeah.
I've never even heard
They're
of
like a
that.
German brand. So like they're famous for like making all aluminum bodied cases. And now they make like polycarbonate cases. but they're still famous for the aluminum, and they're like, they call them titanium, but it's like all aluminum casing. And then they have like this other company called Toomey that's famous for just like being like a business class luggage brand, and they just like sell, they sell like basically like carbon, like almost like carbon fiber, polycarbonate suitcases, and then they also sell like classic like I'm trying to remember the kind of like stitching they use for these kind of bags, but basically like kind of like really tough cross stitch bags that like are durable. I don't know, the expensive brands or whatever. And like I was selling those, and and at the same time I was like, I could make way more per hour if I was just working at the other hotel. So I went down there, and then we got to work. I was like, there was some. I remember how like, because how long was like the time that we worked there when like Tim was there? Because he was our director for a long time.
What was that, like 2 years before?
Yeah, because like
he moved on.
After that it was Chris, and then like now it's I'm pretty sure it's Janine.
Oh, dude, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Totally forgot about that.
Yeah, she like upgraded from the Van Zant.
Who's at the Van Zant now?
I think it was one of the supervisors from the Van Zant became the director.
That's pretty cool.
But they're about to build another hotel right in front of the Van Zant. Like they literally like overshadowed it by building this other bigger hotel.
Jeez.
I mean, I can only imagine what they're gonna like, what kind of conference room or something they're gonna put in there. And now I guess like they're finally gonna start opening up these like ballrooms to people and conferences like maybe this year, at the end of this year.
Dude, I might have to pick up a gig just to see like.
Well, dude, you should, because like that was like, I mean, I was with PSAV for the longest, but when I came back from LA, I was doing freelance stuff with a couple companies in town, and dude, like it was always just like really random gigs. Like the last gig I worked was at Dell for like their quarterly meeting, and like it got canceled because somebody got COVID, and they brought it back from India.
Crazy,
to the conference. It was a doozy. And
did they hold responsibilities for it or anything like that?
No, dude, they like straight up didn't even stop the conference. Like they still recorded the people, they just didn't have any of the people in the that's any of the employees at the conference. And I think they limited the amount of employees in the building. I think they actually told most of the people to go home, because when we were breaking it down, there was like nobody there. And I was like, wow, we really have to go into this COVID-infested building?
Jeez,
like, this is ridiculous. And they're like, yeah, you still want your check? And you know what? I never invoiced them for that last day, because because it wasn't the end of the job. And like they emailed me back and they were like, oh, well, like we have to redo the contract, because the contract was for like 4 days at Dell. And you only broke down, like did a setup and then a breakdown because of COVID. And I was like,
wait, you were like a separate company, like a third party?
Yeah, that was a third party company. Trying to remember the name of it. I think it was, fuck, I can't remember the name. That's probably why I haven't invoiced them. Because I can't remember the name of the company. It could have been like Rhino maybe, but like, no, I think it was something Texas AV Systems or something. I don't know. But like, I mean, it'd be interesting to do that right now, because like, one, you get paid more. Because PSAV, let's be honest, they are paying shit. And
well, they got a pretty good. The thing is, PSAV, they've got a pretty good administration.
Yeah,
pretty good setup. It's a little bit more streamlined, so they don't need like high dollar technicians to be doing their productions.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely like they set up the company so they can hire like basically people that are inexperienced and
they're worth about $12-15 an hour.
Yeah, and then they like build them up. and then but they're billing the clients like $80. And it's like I get the business models, so like not like necessarily like shit.
It's pretty genius, I will say.
Yeah, it is pretty genius. Congratulations to Blackstone or whoever the fuck owns PSAV now. And they also own all the fucking AV companies in Canada now too. Encore they own, or I think Encore bought PSAV actually now.
Was it?
I think that's what's going on.
Okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong, anybody out there in the industry, but that's big talks. I've heard that
Big
recently.
talks.
I mean, shit, that's like huge. That would be like.
But Blackstone was before that, right?
Yeah, Blackstone owned it, and then I think Blackstone sold it to another investment company, and then I think they are selling it to Encore.
Okay.
Because Encore's it's like, well, we want to be a monopoly like AT&T.
Like AT&T, dude.
PSAV bought Encore.
Oh, PSAV, it's the other way around. But still, now
Wait, so who owns PSAV now?
PSAV is.
PSAV owns PSAV.
That's weird.
I don't know. They got to be owned by an investment corporation because they wouldn't be making moves like that in Canada for no reason. I mean, I don't know. Like they literally had tried to do that before. I'm pretty sure, and like they didn't want to work with the Canadian workers. Didn't want to do the PSAV wages. Makes a lot of sense.
I can see that happening.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, working in the industry is great. You learn a lot working with a company like PSAV. They're not the only company out there that, does this similar business, like, it's an AV setup, but like, they are just like the people that we work for. And I'd say our experience with them were kind of like, they're pretty good. Wouldn't you say so? You would say average. Yeah. Why would you say that?
I mean, it wasn't amazing, but it also wasn't half bad, Like it had its days.
It wasn't half bad. You could nap in the job.
I plead the fifth.
Hey, I didn't say I napped on the job.
Okay.
I will say I had a moment where I worked so late at night. I did sleep at the hotel and stayed the night in the office.
Dude, I feel like you're the only one that's ever done that.
I really was. And it was like honestly kind of dumb because I live 5 minutes from the job. But I had to be back.
Was this back in Hyde Park when you lived in Hyde Park?
Yeah, but I had to work. Actually, no. That actually might have been because I lived in South Lamar. And then, I mean, I had to be back at work at like 10 in the morning. So I was like, dude, I'm not coming back. Like,
yeah.
And then Tim, I think it was Tim that woke me up. He was like, what are you doing sleepy? And then he was like, hey, man, I'm proud of you. So he said something like that later. I was like, you're just saying that because you're just like, you got to say something.
You got to say something.
Like an employee just slept.
He jokingly was like, you think we should bring him breakfast or something? Breakfast in bed.
I think he tried to bring me a muffin.
Nice.
See, that's why, I really respected that whole crew.
It was like a family.
It was like a family.
Yeah, I mean, once we started getting the new members in, I guess it started becoming a business.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it started thriving at that point.
Right,
we weren't riding the black and white into the gray areas.
We were keeping the business behind, definitely.
But it was fun.
It was fun, dude. I mean, I will say, like, yeah, once it was pretty clear that once they opened that second building, because we had 3 floors of rooms that we would handle, and plus ballrooms at one hotel. Then they added this other hotel. And once they added that one, I was like, okay, Chris is the director now. He wants to prove he's doing good. You got this whole new room. It's a lot of work. It was like, not really that much fun. In fact, I probably remember a lot of times where I was like, really done. At the end of the night with people, I was just like I would be like, I mean, I wouldn't say I would get fights with people, but like, I just feel like, oh my God, you know what I mean? You're just like, fuck, dude, I don't want to do this.
I can honestly say I didn't have very many of those. But, I mean, there was some times where people just get under your skin.
Yeah, for sure. And that's just like normal work, but like something about like the casualness of like the expectation of setting up a room, like, because it's like you start at 8 a.m. and you're like, oh, it's the event's at like 8 o'clock tonight. You're like, well, that's 12 hours. It's like, like you really got a lot of time to bullshit. But like it also does take a good bit of time to like, fold out the screen, drink some coffee, set up the projector, drink some coffee. And then, like, maybe by that time, it's time to take lunch. I'm just joking. That is a terrible work schedule right there.
That is not how you're supposed to do it, for sure.
But it was pretty casual, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it was pretty casual.
And yeah, like especially when I was doing freelance, when I went to do freelance work, it was not casual at all. Like I would go down to San Antonio and work at like. I think their AT&T, like Hill Country Resort or whatever. I can't remember what it was really called, but like there's this really big hotel in North San Antonio that I would go to, and they would have like just like massive shows going on. Like I would come in and they'd be like, yeah, it's just like a conference. And then walk in and they'd already have like half the room just like covered with trusses. And like this is a massive ballroom too, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on today?
I hated those, dude. I hated going and seeing that because
because you're like, God damn it, I have to do something right now. Like, but it was always like with those gigs, it was weird because like I would walk into those rooms, but then they would be like, the room would be so big, they'd have so many people to work on it to get it done in like a short amount of time that like. If you were assigned to do the LED wall, you'd be working with like 12 people doing this LED wall. So like they'd literally just be like, all right, pass people the LEDs. And that's what you're doing for like the next 2 hours. Like,
passing people LEDs, dude.
Yeah. So like,
I don't think I ever really saw something like that.
Well, it was like, because with these freelance gigs down in that ballroom, the LED walls would be so big, like, and like the panels, like you have to fit them on top of each other a certain way, and like I don't know. Like I'm not an expert on doing those, so like I would kind of be kind of working under somebody who like was like literally renting out their video wall, and they rented the video wall, and like they know what the setup is.
Yeah.
I'm just like listening to them, and like, but you still got to put the panels in. You got to fucking connect all these cables to each of the panels. Like, it takes fucking forever. Like. For a big one.
My biggest like deal with not liking working on a set like that is the fact that it takes a lot of focus.
Yeah.
And like I enjoyed like the medium sized sets where you can like just cruise your way through.
Yeah, you're just setting up a tripod.
But with big sets like that, dude, you had to like start retaining information, holding it for a certain amount of time, and then start applying it throughout the day.
Yeah.
Especially like when it comes to that whole planning process, that was just way too much.
Yeah, dude. Like, trying to listen to like PMs talk about like the set, I would never like it, dude. Because they would also like be so into it with the clients that like they'd be like, clients would rub off on them, and they'd like start caring about the event, and it's like, no, dude. Like,
I mean, the stress was definitely like emanating from them.
Yeah, all the time, dude. I mean. Also, if I was getting like, commission off an event, I would probably be pretty stressed.
Yeah, I can totally understand where they're coming from.
They'd be like, we're going to shrink your percentage down 2% every second you don't get things in line.
God, dude.
You're like sweat beads coming on your face. Oh man, if we had a PM for this studio, damn, they'd be going bonanzas.
Bonanzas. Yeah, one thing I've noticed about Paradox is you guys definitely run it like chill.
We're chill. We're cold chilling up in here.
Cold chilling.
It's just you, me. We got producer Blake. Producer Corey. Sorry. Hi. Corey's here. Blake's here in spirit. If I could get the names right.
Blake's here in spirit.
Yeah. Spirits.
He did say he was here in spirit before he left.
Are you and Blake like also active in the live AV industry aspect?
I was for a number of years. That's what inspired this podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Blake's much more into filmmaking.
Yeah.
And I have my feet in both.
Okay.
And more in filmmaking now, but
Yeah.
started.
Did you do PSAV or were you doing contract work?
Now it's just a smaller company. I don't
Word.
even have resources.
Nice.
Like a local company, like one old AV guy
Yeah.
could run the whole town.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It was an interesting.
What town was it?
It's up north, Duluth, Minnesota.
Oh, word.
Duluth. Oh, when you said up north, I was like, okay, so Dallas. Duluth, Minnesota.
North of the country. North country.
Nice.
We definitely had a lot of like, I don't know what to do though up there as far as like, just hanging projectors and flying screens.
At what point are we gonna get you up here with a mic?
Yeah.
Or were we gonna do one with all three of us?
I was like, what time is it?
Dude, how long have we been talking? Like, look, it's been a
Been
minute.
talking for like about 30 minutes. Yeah.
Jeez.
I
Just
was like-
chasing down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, I was like, that was a pretty good conversation, though. I think we should probably cut it because I think we have another cast coming in.
Okay.
At 7.
If cast at 7, that's the perfect time to cut it. So.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.